And Parasite once again taken out by Complexity, but there you go, the first lock keeper of the forest. Don't pick it up. He loses for you now.
But I think he's a much more effective suicide hero though than being placed in the jungle.
True.
When you have a jungle keeper, unless your lanes are really set up for victory, I think a lot of times you can be sort of vulnerable to aggressive play. So
Yeah.
I just see him have more outstanding success in that suicide role.
All right, so we'll see now how things shape up from here. As a locking page picking up, look at that. Look at that coming up for Sotomayor. He's like, I'm going to get one or the other, damn it. So keep it the force first lock, Tempest, Wretched Act to follow. But yeah, the Rally, Deadwood coming out. And I think that has a little bit going back to looking at that first game, remember. How both teams were in the same situations of SG on the Legion, Complexity on the Hellborn. Not only did Complexity ban Deadwood, but then they ended up picking up Rally themselves. And SG has been running one of those two heroes a lot lately.
Yeah.
And so it kind of seems like that's a lot, that on top of a Master of Arms and whatnot. But yeah, so Swinamon's basically making a point that he wants to play one of those two with those locks perhaps. But Bubble's the final one coming out here. So once again, another strong lock pool. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, it's cool to see Rally and Deadwood being locked over Fade Pebbles, and I have nothing against it. I think they're all very strong heroes, and just sort of depends on what kind of strategy and team composition you're going for. I think teams are finally just thinking outside the box of more just like, oh, we're going to pick these strong heroes, and they're truly beginning to find those synergies, team compositions, and going back a little bit to that. Because for a while I just felt like, okay, this hero's got here, this hero's got here, we have to grab this one, and it will win. And now people are like, well, this hero synergizes really well with this one, and the shield combines with this heal, and there's more of a thought process, so I like it.
You're right. That's a great way to approach it, and you're exactly right. And it does make for more entertainment in the end as spectators, and it's good to see teams are taking more advantage of that. So, Tundra, Engineer, Jerizai, Master of Arms, Zephyr. So far, the band's coming out. So once again, no MOA, and Fade is going to be the final band here. So right away, looking at the board, any first pick potential, glaring. There's a Pebbles left open. He usually is good,
but not for SG. I don't think.
No, that's true.
I think,
yeah. If they want to go Rally or Deadwood, then.
Unless they do kind of thing like we saw them do in that one game where they ran Magnus, where they're going to go with two of those sort of, strong gank heroes and go for an earlier push mid-game lineup.
SG does that. They definitely do that. So, yeah, the possibility is definitely there. But you do got something like a Silhouette or a Draconus for that matter as well. Okay, they are going to go the Pebbles in the end. Again, they could just simply pass up Deadwood or Rally altogether from the lock pool, so...
I do say this a lot, though. I actually do like Pebble. I do like Rally with another strength hero, like a Hammer Storm, maybe even a Pebble, something like that. So I don't think they necessarily can't coexist.
Luna Dargun here, a.k.a. Draconus picked up by Complexity. So
Didn't we see SG pick up a Swiftblade with a Pebbles and a Deadwood as well? As the carry, it was like maybe a couple Hauntors ago in the semifinals.
I do remember that, and Slicks goes the Helm of the Black Legion Portal Key build.
And they just have 3 burst heroes.
Yeah, you're right. Emperor, are you looking into the future?
I don't know. I don't think they're. I'm just saying.
We're gonna see a Swiftblade pick up here.
They do like to run those mid-game bursty heroes, and
yeah.
I mean, if you can just avoid any retaliation by eliminating their HP altogether, sure, why not? And there's no Ophelia, so banned out by Complexity again.
Pharaoh here, I'm thinking. I still like
they need a caster. They need a caster as well. One of the support heroes.
Yep, there is no.
And there's suicide options, so I don't know if they'll.
Yeah, I
don't know if they'll.
Pharaoh
Sorry.
or Plague. Nope, that's okay. Let's see. Again, the 4 to pair up with that Pebbles, and maybe even more, depending on who they finish off with. But spending some time. So, what were you gonna say? You don't know if they're gonna pick Keeper, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably would, leaving that as their suicide. I'd imagine.
Yeah. Well, you have to take either Keeper or Tempest. There's no way you give Complexity both of those. So, I couldn't see that. Okay, there you go. Now SG. Okay, we've seen this actually a little bit. SG does run a Suicide Magnus actually. They are known to run a Suicide Magnus by Kesu. So keeping that in mind, interesting. Now Complexity is going to be finishing off here. So now it's, what did they think they're ultimately going to get out of that lock? Well, again, I find it very hard to believe that Stakeman's going to pass up on both of those. both Keeper and Tempest, so you got to figure they're at least going to pick up one. You get the other, so you have a jungle option no matter what. Maybe guaranteeing yourself something like that mid-hero too. Something like, well, I don't know actually. Who is left out there? Nothing's really glaring. There's a Torturer still. I could see him being picked up by Complexity possibly.
If they pick up Keeper, there is a chance they're going to be running him in the jungle based on the rest of that pool there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I'm getting at too. So,
and
I think, well, they're thinking about this though. For obvious reasons. Now, Hammerstorm, actually, Hammerstorm. Wow, Hammerstorm's on the board. Luna Hammerstorm is definitely powerful.
Yeah, Hammerstorm can be a little bit vulnerable to Keeper sometimes, though, as the game progresses, especially in the late game with a Refresher. Keeper can really provide a lot of lockdown to those melee carries. So
more Axis? We haven't seen him in a while, seems like.
Yeah, he has sort of fallen off.
Yeah. He's thinking about it, man. A lot of extra time.
Going for the suicide, yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's basically, again, that's more of the assumption of we are not going to get both of Keeper and Tempest as a result of that pick. So they go with their suicide option. So either Keeper or Tempest, they'll probably run in the jungle. But again, it's for State Green, it has to be one of those two, you think. But that also means Complexity is probably going to finish off with the other one, then either Deadwood or Rally, whichever one they feel.
Yeah, it's curious to see because I haven't been seeing Keeper. I mean, Keeper Jungle lost 4 games today between the top teams in the game. So I'm curious to see whether they'll be picking that Keeper now or going for more aggressive early Tempest. Okay, they are going for the Keeper. I can't really hate on that with their lineup. So.
Yeah, of course. You can't. Stats are one thing, but that just may just happen to be a simply coincidence. Of course, I still think in the end he still is a fine hero. But you do bring up the point, a logical point that you like him more as a suicide, but it looks like once again he is going to be more in the jungle here. So I guess that isn't 100%. I mean, not to get too into myself, maybe not. Depending if they finish off with a, unless we see something like a okay, they are going to go Deadwood. Are we going to see something like an Amphora Mag Deadwood tri-lane? I kind of wonder if they want to still have that Keeper suicide or not.
You might see a more aggressive Genki kind of Magnus coming out. No, we do see Chessie busting out on that Keeper pick. He is going into the jungle. They're not going to try any sort of dual roam with a Magnum Amphora. Maybe it could work. Maybe you could catch him flat-footed, but they're not going with it. Going to do the Keeper jungle. So.
Let's get it on.
See, but that Deadwood pick. See, they had the chance to go either Hag or Bubbles. You would think that if they went one of those two, that could have, especially Bubbles. I mean, that would have set up not only a great team fight for them, but a suicide option. And if that was the case, then you could do something like a Mag Nymph middle and Pebble short.
Yeah,
but they choose to go the Deadwood.
We have seen, the Magnus suicide. Though we've seen even Swindle Mullins do Deadwood suicide in Rome a lot, and Magnum 4-lane, maybe a root on top of that, maybe get some work done. So it does look like he's shaping up though to go in this short lane.
Who is that, Mag or?
No, the Deadwood.
The Deadwood, yeah. So Mag actually has no idea. He did purchase boots, but then he sold them, of course. But yeah, he's probably going to end up suicide again, like I talked about. Although there is a hatchet on there for KZ, so yeah, he too is going to also have 4 hatchets on this side. Holy crap! On the side of Stay Green. Getting down here as fast as possible. Once again, obviously to protect the ward spot. None was even being attempted though. Plague are figuring it's best to stay back, and Beakid will eventually get it down himself. But, Beacon playing Plague Rider, by the way. How about that? That's actually interesting. And
yeah, it is.
Rally. Huh.
We've seen him on that suicide a bit. Also to note, Plague Rider did not get the ward off yet. I'm curious to see whether they'll try to edge him out and prevent him and try to get that whole run there at the beginning of the game, or whether they'll just, let him ward it in the end and go straight with the dual lane mid.
Where are the heroes gonna end up specifically on the Legion side? That's what I'm really curious about. Keizu does have the ward of sight, and again, it looks like Keizu, as he definitely got pulled some regen there, unless he started with a lot more gold than everyone else. Well, no, actually, yeah, he got.
He can't buy that.
I was gonna say, I'm not wrong on that, right? So yeah, he did go pull the regen there, putting the ward of sight down, and he will end up top. So it's gonna be Magnus versus a Draconus. And I am actually kind of curious. Do you think maybe we could expect to see more of a Lava Touch build or Volcanic Touch build here by Magnus as a result of this, or maybe not?
In the side lane, maybe Draconus is ranged, but Lava Touch definitely does help him farm up. Yeah, it's very possible. it helps sort of Magnus not spend too much time on the creep wave against a ranged hero when he's just able to sort of bring it all down, get the creep kills, and get out. So.
Deadwood also getting pulled a little bit of regen himself here at the bottom lane, so giving him a good time against Plague Rider on top of just great last hitting. Will be able to absorb some damage and eat those trees and regen fairly quickly. But beacon on Plague Rider, of course, at the same time, denying those creeps left and right and making it pretty difficult for lane control here for Deadwood. As you already see, and he didn't get that water sight down. Granted, it was after the spawn. But nonetheless, he still got it down, so that'll make things a little bit more difficult. But so we do see that Nymphora laning presence here. It seems like Rally Aluna is a little bit more scarier than this Pebbles Nymphora. I mean, what is your take on this middle lane?
Yeah, it's a lot. Rally can sort of save the Aluna if they try to initiate on him, which is really effective. I think Pebbles Nymphora is a very powerful lane. I've seen some people lately playing Nymphora, sort of play her like another support, where they actually don't go Grace sometimes, and they went for both the Volatile Pod and the Nymphora Zeal. She has enough mana to cast both spells almost twice, so maybe.
Oh, Nymphora and Aluna are going to be running into each other at the river. They see the Zeal, so only level 1 landing right there. The 2-minute spawn is going to go bottom, actually, and that will be to the favor of Stay Green. Chessie's already down here. Again, great rune control on either side, but it just happens to be the RNG favor of Stay Green there. So Chessie picking up the haste rune, and we'll continue to farm with it in the meantime. So good for him. Magnus, in the meantime, at the top lane, to answer my question, he actually does go to level 1 Volcanic Touch so far, but it seems like he's being boxed out pretty well here by Draconus, as of course you would expect. But the lane getting pushed up a little bit, the lane control for Keizu kind of working out right there. As again, he did get that water sight down early on, so not having to worry about the spawn of the creep camps. But that is going to be a not the most favorable matchup for Magnus, to say the least. So.
Right.
He will continue to have a fairly difficult time, but I think that really just puts a stress here on this middle lane, especially either Pebbles or Rally. Which two are going to have the better time here? You see Stalagmites coming out, but really just for harassment, if anything. As Nymphora did get the grace of the Nymphora, so not going the pod route. Interesting right there, actually. Chessie pulling the creeps all the way to the tower, even.
Yeah.
Getting some assistance.
One thing that's okay for Mag, I guess, is he's still able to get experience. So Draconus is pushing the wave naturally. He does have that, the Fiery Barrage passive, which, will keep the lane. We'll get experience, so.
Yeah, so at the very least, staying alive and getting the levels is really you can ask for of Keizu. And again, as you put it, definitely getting that. But I guess also, too, you really have to look at the junglers. Both Tempest compared to the Keeper of the Forest, how much of the early impact they're going to have this game is going to play out to be pretty big. Tempest, perhaps a little bit better of a starting jungler hero. I mean, do you think that that's true, that Tempest arguably should have the better time early on?
I think Tempest's peak farm exceeds that of Keeper. Played to perfection, getting the right spawns. Tempest always has the capacity to farm faster.
Ooh, top rune race again, and Nymphora and Aluna running into one another, but Magnus is also here this time. Rally jumping in with the Cabal. Magnus is here, picks up the regen, but now he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Glacial Blast coming down to him. Demoralizing Roar going to be used on top of that. Aluna will be comboed down by Pebble, so right now it's 1-for-1. Blazing Flight from Draconus running in, by the way. He's going to get close enough for the Dragon Flame, and Moon Meander playing that rally will get credit for the kill. How about that? Draconus coming all the way from the top lane to assist on the kill right there. So, but in the end, it ends up being 2-1 in favor of Complexity. Coming out there, the top rune exchange.
Yeah. Interesting to see them rotate like that from the top lane, too. Just a ton of commotion going on there at the 4-minute mark.
Well, I was a little bit worried for Haxring, because especially if he didn't even get an assist right there, you could definitely got to question that a little bit, going all the way out of the lane and missing out some creep kills and whatnot. But he got an assist at the very least. So.
Yeah, he was following the Magnus, and it was definitely worth it for him to go. I like that he's going the Dragon Flame build. Sometimes when you just only go for that Blazing Flight and Fiery Barrage, you just can't do anything, and you sort of have an inactive hero that's forced to just passive farm. His farming is still inherently good with the hero, and I like that he can be more active now.
Very true, yeah. Usually we do see more of the different, not the Dragon Flame, but exactly right. I mean, gives him more activity, if anything, especially in this Magnus matchup here. Gives him always that chance that Keizu has to be worried about getting hit by that Dragon Flame, because it's not just level 1, it's even more damage now. Something we see too as well, we kind of noticed that last fight, Moon Meander did choose to go Demoralizing Roar. I believe one he hit level 4, maybe level 2 even, but or level 3 for that matter. But anyways, he has a Demoralizing Roar. We do sometimes see Rally players actually skip that ability altogether until level 9. What is your take on that ability?
I actually think it is a little bit underrated.
Probably going to get turned on here. Yeah, Zeal's not going to come out, but in the end, and not going to be going down. Tempest, all that are going to be used. He knows that the Zeal set is, of course, on cooldown. Slick's in a lot of trouble, and Slick's will eventually fall. He put the Chuck out, but not nearly enough. Great turnaround coming out for Complexity right there. Riser just happened to be perfect timing. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, though, Deadwood catches Plague Rider. And, well, you can guess what happens after the fact. The Falcon Punch on top of the Rotten Grasp gets the kill for him.
Yeah, actually, look at the convincing lead that Semi-Finals has right now over that Plague Rider.
Jeez, yeah.
A lot of people sort of fear him in that 1v1 matchup, but he is getting smashed right now by this Deadwood. Definitely a very strong short laner.
Pebble's actually put on the top lane. Interesting. I guess, if anything, you know, maybe sharing him some bottle charges, but he might have thought Draconus was going to continue to chase Magnus, but if anything, they're going to go for a kill themselves. But Draconus knows something up. So Pebbles will now walk all the way to the middle lane, but you're definitely missing on a little bit of time there. And you look at how low Rally is, too, so maybe even missing out on a kill chance.
Yeah.
As he gets pulled some regen. But yeah, so it has a demoralizing roar here on Rally.
I'm okay with it. I like it. He was doing just fine in lane without needing to get more points in battle experience. Maybe that 1 point, you know, it almost provides like another auto attack and damage, a little bit less, but maybe it'll allow him and his teammates to get one extra volley of attacks off.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more aggressive, so I don't see there's a problem with it.
Yeah, you know, I do talk to Dog Kaiser a lot when it comes to heroes that we see in the competitive scene and heroes that we see in a lot of tournament matches, and because obviously he's always very intrigued by it and definitely helps him out. And I brought up the case that Rally has been seen a lot lately, and you know, in his mind, or from what he could tell though, well, the matches that he was watching, which is true, kind of, is that a lot of rallies seemed like they were passing up the demoralizing roar, but you know, in his mind, he feels like it's kind of one of those level 1 wonders. As by the way, speaking of Rally, great dodge right there from Moomiander as he uses the compel to avoid a Lava Surge Magma stun coming out. So
yeah. I've had that conversation with Tralfa actually too quite a bit, and he does feel like, you know, Rally should at least get a point of that demoralizing roar. I think when you're in that straight 1v1 matchup though, the extra battle experience can help you be a little bit more efficient with your mana, efficient with your lane control, and in that case it might actually be okay to skip. In an aggressive game like this though, I do not think you should pass it up.
True. Again, so he has it. He also has Seismic Slam now, of course, being level 6, a double damage rune on top of all that. And 4, it might need to be a little bit careful here in the middle lane, as the bottom tower will go down in favor of State Green. So good push coming up, but like I said, Z-Freak's in a lot of trouble. Compel not going to hit. Will it matter in the end? Probably not. You just see the intense damage coming out, especially with that double damage rune. And there's that good old announcer pack. This middle push is also going to happen now as a result of that. But State Green still pushing the bottom line. Nope, Keeper of the Forest is actually porting out. We'll see if they maybe try to set something up here, actually. As Keeper of the Forest is level 6, so I think they're definitely going to go for that. He's going to go Invis. Oh, he has a big chance for a root right here. Tap his ultimate, off, good on. He hits all far. Here come the ports. Pebble starts in with the stalagmites. The Lunasaur coming up. The Plague is going to start bouncing around, though. And actually, the leading team will need to spread big time right here. Pebble's so barely alive. They kill Rally, and that's going to be the only kill it looks like for now. Tempest is on the run. The Region Rune's still working on Magma's finally going to be taken off right there. But that tree block not going to be enough on a Tempest. He's just out of range. Rock Grass, it doesn't matter. Magma's Lava Surge, too powerful. Gets the kill, and Inferno coming in. But here comes Draconus. No Cataclysmic Assault, of course. He's out to the side. Magma's chilling. That Lava Surge actually right on top of Rally, who did bite back, and just like that, Rally will fall. Draconus in the front lines now, but he will now fall back, as all they got was Nymphora. So I must say, Stay Green, it seems like they come out big time in terms of that fight right there.
Yeah, I don't know about that buyback. I mean, obviously it was easy to say, oh, he should have cut his losses, but he thought if he bought back, you know, they used some spells, but they still had those ultis. They still had the mana for a second volley, so it's not like they were down in resources.
Yeah. That was, again, you saw that setting up for the longest time, though, and that all started with Chessie on the Keep of the Forest. He ported to the secondary tower here in the middle lane. He didn't want to show himself, obviously, so he ported in. He Nature's Veiled in with the Invis, and a beautiful, beautiful route. It hit all 4 heroes as they were even a little bit spread out, but it didn't matter. And again, we saw the end result of Complexity. Well, or not Complexity, but Stay Green dominating that fight. So you look at the gold per minute chart now. Deadwood is up there as one of the top farmers in the game, so earlier on Portal Key will be good news for Stay Green. But when you look at the big picture, you still have a Draconus, who he didn't die throughout all that. He will continue to farm, and this is a Draconus after all. So that's definitely got to be in the back of your mind for Stay Green, that you will have to deal with him, especially with your lineup being a very aggressive early to mid-game lineup, of course.
Yeah, Draconus providing quite a bit of anti-push to a keeper as well. They do have that good old Nymphora Mag combination, though. Great at picking heroes off, great at setting up fights. Their line stun synergy is huge. You know, Mag gets a good 2 to 3 person stun. You're able to get a good level 4 Nymphora Zeal, up to 3 seconds of additional stun onto all of those targets. I mean, that combo can do tons of work.
Yeah, and right now you do have Z-Freak on M4. He's level 5 currently, so still no port, but there are no portal keys just yet on the Legion side either, so that's where it's probably, you know, okay that she's not level 6 just yet anyways. Again, Deadwood's definitely going to be the first one to get it, it looks like, at this rate, if it keeps up. But, I mean, to that point, too, we are now 11 minutes in, and Deadwood, it seemed like he had really free farm here for the most part against that Plague Rider. But, of course, it is a Plague Rider after all, and the lane control is always difficult to deal with against him. So his farm maybe not as good as it could have been, but still it is up there. And will nonetheless have probably around a 13, maybe a 14-minute portal key here. So
yeah.
Can start using that. Middle lane, ooh, they try to gank rally, but a little bit too quick. Again, needing those portal keys for Stay Green.
Yeah.
Safe to say, those are the big items. And I wouldn't be surprised to see 4 portal keys, actually, even Keeper the Force if he gets one. Is it even necessary at that point, though? Would you rather see Keeper go for more of a teamfight route?
Well, I don't know. I see SG do the build-ups a lot in Keeper. One nice thing ultimately about getting a Keeper with the portal key is that it sets up for a Mag ulti very, very well. I don't... Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not exactly sure actually how Compel works on rooted targets. I think you can push another rooted target, but you can't push yourself. If you're, maybe you can push
we'll have to think about that for a second, because top lane Draconus in a lot of trouble, and the 4 port from behind as well came in, but look at Complexity and how they reacted to it. Tempest and Illuna, they ran the opposite way. They poured out. Draconus is going to Blazing Fly. He'll be good for now. There's actually a double damage rune that he'll be able to pick up as well. There's a log going to slow him down. The Rock Grass going to come out, but Tempest is now here as well as Rally, and they are ready to fight Stay Green, but Magnus does in, and here we go. Big fight initiation. The Compel going to be used. Magnus in a lot of trouble. No seismic slam. Actually, chucking Draconus. Draconus will fall. The Plague is going to start bouncing around the root in the background. Tempest will fall to the Falcon Punch. Plague Rider also going down, and this is no doubt working much better for Stay Green right now. Rock Grass lands on Illuna. He too will fall, it looks like. Raleigh did have Compel, but I think that answers your question. I don't think he can compel them out of there, so he's going to compel himself, and their tower will fall on top of it all. Talk about a momentum swing there in favor of Stay Green.
Yeah, great stun coming out there from KZ to set that all up. On top of the well-timed, well-placed Nymphora Zeal. It felt like they were stunned forever there, the Plague Rider, and I forgot who was caught with him, but you know, the Pebbles struck on top of it, and down they all went.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, I think we got the answer to your question of Rally. Because unless Moon was just slow on it, which I don't think he was, it didn't seem like he was able to compel Illuna out of the rotten grasp there. So
yeah.
I don't believe it works, but again, I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah, I thought I saw something about it somewhere. Maybe it was in the change logs, maybe it was not. I know I read about it, I just don't know what the... Yeah, it looked like it. Cannot be done, though.
Yeah. So, we go back to this case, though. Now, if anything, this is where... Honestly, you could say this is where Stay Green should be, because again, you look at their lineup and what their hero makeup is, especially that compared to Complexity, who has that by all means hard carry in Draconus. So that's where, if you're Stay Green, sure, some momentum there. That was a great file. Let's all clap hands and everything, but at the same time, this game is still far from over at this rate, and we need to keep the pressure up. And well, I think they agree, and that's exactly what they do. They port to the top lane with Nymphora, they take out Draconus, and that is, of course, the snowball effect that this team will start to have now as a result of the heroes and the items that they're picking up.
Yeah, Deadwood's sort of an excellent mid-game anti-carry as well. Even though the Draconus is picking up his Nullstone, that log toss does disable, and you can still punch right after.
Does Draconus not even have the Blessed Orb yet? Wow, Draconus has really actually been starting to get locked down here. Those 2 deaths hurting him. So,
yeah.
Again, more good news for Stay Green. And actually, they're going to group up, push this middle or top lane, and they are not going to be stopped, as understandable from Complexity. They are trying to counter push a little bit in the middle lane, but that isn't going to happen either. So that will be a free top tower kill. So you got the portal key on Deadwood, you got one on Pebbles. Magnus now is next in line at around 1,500 gold saved up. Again, this was a suicide Magnus, remember, against a Draconus. I mean, he was definitely having a hard time, but Casey's done a good job of recovering himself. He's 2-1-4 currently, actually. So triple stack Ancients, though, being done by Draconus. A little bit of team support coming out here. Trying to, and you know what? Actually, what do you think of this now? again, kind of maybe hindsight here, but do you think Draconus might have been better off going for that shrunken head first because of those situations?
Maybe. It's hard to say. He does want that protection a little bit from Deadwood or to slow him down, but yeah, it feels like this Nullstone, after all those ganks coming out, might be coming out kind of late here. You know, they look at Nymphora stun, Mag stun, Keeper root, Deadwood's AoE root as well, the Log Toss, the Disabled and also all of Pebble spells. Basically, almost every single spell outside of Log Toss on this team does not care about a Nullstone.
Yeah. And actually, Magma's not going the Portal Q route. He's going to be going Tablet of Command here, as he is delivering some pieces, and I believe he's going to go finish it right now, actually. So,
yeah,
interesting stuff there.
Yep.
Oh, Tempest gets got. That's a dead riser, unfortunately, for Complexity. He kind of just stands there and, well, accepts death because there's nothing more that he can do. He just simply got caught. There's only 2 more outer towers now remaining for Stay Green. Again, this is that snowball team effect that Stay Green can have.
Yeah.
Especially with this lineup, and we are seeing it working out as here we go again and for porting. Who's going to port with him, though? Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I was going to say, Pebbles wasn't actually near it.
Yeah, maybe a misclick or maybe attempting to scare someone. I don't know. We talked about this mid-game team with full of gankers that SG has been known to run. We talked about the Swiftblade variation. We saw it happen last week in the Han Tour Finals against TDM, where they took that one game that they won against them. And the tablet on Magnus, they also went tablet in that game. I think that's because they have such a huge advantage right now that basically how they're going to be approaching this as a team is when Pebble sees an angle on one of the squishier heroes, he'll try to jump in, the follow-up damage will come out, they'll try to get the kill, and from there on out, they just try to pull back as a team and then just keep reinitiating. So the tablet's there to help them sort of back out and play the game of footsie with them a little bit. Yeah,
so they're not that one-hit wonder team by any means, where Portal Q would be more useful. Yeah, I could definitely see that. So. Stay Green is going to group up as 5 here. We do have a vote to pause coming out from this. So I don't know if somebody necessarily DC'd or just a quick issue to fix, but they do got the momentum rolling once again. 8,000 gold lead, 3,600 experience lead. Once they start getting to the base, though, that's going to be the big question marks of will they be able to start breaking in. I mean, because again, the team fight over here for the Hellborn side, especially with Rally and Tempest close to level 11, it looks like. More specifically, Rally. And then that Nullstone going to be finished up shortly here on Haxor and playing that Draconus. It's there. And if they happen to win a team fight because of their abilities doing work, that's, you know, no doubt that can really change things around in this game right now, even with where it's at. So I like, you know, what you're saying, that though, if you're Stay Green, you know, playing that kind of that footsie game where you're just going back and forth and not really going for the one-hit punch. So
yeah, no, they're going to go for a kill, and then, like, you know, maybe Pebbles is getting under attack, maybe he'll get pushed back by Magus's tablet. They're just going to try to get in and out, not really give him a chance, because if they pick off one target, more than likely they just don't have the damage a turn-around fight, unless you get a huge Tempest hole coming out. Also, it's an additional thing that could potentially disrupt Tempest. So.
Oh yeah, very true. Okay, it looks like Slicks is good to go as a Stay Green. Apparently Complexity is as well. So Stay Green, they're going to be falling back. I mean, if 4 already TP'd back to base. So unless they decide to push without her, seems like it's kind of silly. So yeah, they're going to fall back too. And 4 did decide to max out that Grace on the Nymph, by the way. So not finding it necessary to level up the Zeal stun even that we normally see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that at all. I would like to see at least level 3 Nymphora Zeal. Level 3 Nymphora Zeal is the point at which Nymphora Zeal, when you cast it, no matter where you are, it'll always pretty much get both ticks off. You can say the same for level 2 if you're sort of distance far away, but at level 3, no matter where you're casting it, it'll always sort of pretty much get both ticks off, keep them locked down. It doesn't give them time to cast a Compel in between or any of their spells. So
yeah.
That's why I like to see it, and I don't exactly like this build coming out from Z3.
Now, you know, there is another plus, though, Grace, than there. You know, obviously the mana is a big part of it, but the movement speed buff is actually pretty solid as well. So
yeah.
I kind of wonder if that's maybe the logic there, even. I've wanted to get it for that, as well as the reduced cooldown, too. I mean, it goes down to 16 seconds. So
I just would like to see it leveled up to level 3, sort of like how you like to see DSs and Tangle at least level 3.
Yeah. Ooh, Raw and Grass going to hit Tempest. Now we will get the Glacial Blast off. He does have support nearby, but will it be enough? No, it won't. The Falcon Punch comes out. Look at all the stuns happening. The Tempest ultimate even going to be used, but guess what? There's no one here to support. Tempest will fall.
I don't know about that riser.
Yeah, I mean, he had a Luna nearby. Now, there was actually, look at Rally was here.
far away though. That was there was no way. I mean, I'm sure it was a nerve sort of getting on hand there, but it was whew, that was. I mean, you can't always tell. He was just going for it and maybe making something happen. Maybe he took a little bit more damage than expected. He had the game plan, went through with it, and then he's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I can't really say. Either way, not ideal at all. Because not only did they get the kill, now they can go push with, oh, hey guys, they don't have a Tempest ulti.
I will say I do think Moon was kind of stutter stepping there. He was nearby for quite a while, so I really think that just came down to miscommunication where
I see.
You know, he kind of wanted to go in, but then he kind. But actually, look at Moon right now. He's in some trouble. He's gonna go for the kill in 4, which he will get. The Bound drops, and actually he'll be able to destroy that right there. And he'll run away. So Deadwood is running in, barely any life himself. He's going to use the Rotten Grasp. Will miss there. But Moon Meander does end up getting a kill out of it, actually, as he also hits level 11. So kind of some nifty play coming out from Moon Meander.
Yeah, and he went with that max demoralizing roar build. I think it's viable. I think it's fine. So.
Interesting, yeah. That's more of the slow and even all the way up to 160 damage now as a result of it. But yeah, that does take away from your auto attack presence. But especially, I think that really just simply goes back to the fact that this is a team that, you know, it's all about the team fight. So why not assist that even more?
Yeah, a lot of times your combo, I mean, it depends on the armor of the target, but a lot of times your combo will actually do almost 100 more damage with a maxed out demoralizing roar versus the battle experience as well. But it really does depend on their armor total.
I do forget that. Okay, so yeah, the battle experience does work with the seismic slam as well.
Yeah.
On top of the roar, but nonetheless, I mean, obviously as levels go on, he will eventually have both maxed out, but the choice to go with the roar first. Another 2,200 gold on Keizu here playing this Magma, so he could now even go for a Portal Key, or maybe just continue more of a route of I'm here to, you know, we don't necessarily need that, some more of support items for the team.
Yeah, I think it's PK time. Yeah, okay. It is. It is.
It's about time, right? Keeper the Force did not go the Portal Key route. He's been going, you know, more of that team build that we were brought up earlier.
He might look to get a barrier idol, so just to assist in this push, so that the Plague Rider ulti is really mitigated.
How's good old Draconus doing? Guess what? He's doing pretty good. He's just over 400 gold per minute. He has been having his time here at the top lane. I'm surprised he pushed up that far, to be honest, again, with the NIM4 on this team, but he will be fine. He's level 13. I mean, he's got a Mighty Blade now picked up. Doesn't have a Mystic Vestments. I'm a little bit critical of that.
Yeah.
Seeing that he has 2 minor totems on him instead.
I think he's just trying to avoid fighting until he gets his Shrunken. Kongor is going down, though, and they don't have Tempest ulti to stop it. And they're not even looking like they want to. They're just saying, hey, we know we can't fight this. We're going all in on Draconus this game, so take your time, Maxer.
Yeah, I don't know, even if they had a Tempest ultimate, if they would, but if anything, that would have made Stay Green maybe second guess. I mean, they got to still figure that the Tempest ultimate is down now. Granted, it's actually coming out cooldown right now, but you know, with them kind of misplaying with it earlier, Stay Green takes advantage nonetheless, and they get the Kongor kill. So life just got even that much more difficult. Deadwood now with that token of life. Obviously has a Soulsborne, as you mentioned too. So yeah, all across the board, things are coming out nicely here for Stay Green. The Shrunken Head also finished on Pebbles. So are they now? No, there's only 3 here, so probably not going to Griffin push unless they do have an M4 Porta actually. So they definitely could try to push somewhere and then have them join them as an M4 and Magra at the bottom lane currently, but Draconus really wants to finish that Shrunken Head, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, he does need to do anything in these fights to avoid the lockdown from Keeper.
At least finishing that for him, and perhaps even hitting that level 16 mark will be the good timing that we see a lot of the time from Draconus. But right now, look at Stay Green, especially Keeper and, not Keeper, but Deadwood and Pebbles. They're in the jungle, they're roaming, trying to find, I mean, Haxrin knows that there's somewhere nearby. They do got vision in their jungle. And yeah, he is going to port back to base. But Stay Green knows as well that they could freely push here, at least in these outer towers. This is the last outer tower that Stay Green will be able to take advantage of, because from here on out, you're going into the base. Whether or not they actually go into the base just yet, remember they do have a token of life, but maybe wait for something like that barrier idol first.
Takes down a Hellborn tower.
Before they try to really break in.
And we'll see.
Go for some kills here again. Definitely want to go for that Draconus, just like he wants to stay alive and get a Shrunken Head, but seems like he is playing passive. And he actually did get a Mystic Vestments, by the way. He did sell one of the minor totems, so.
Well, if he gets picked off without buyback, it's game, so.
Yeah. He does have that right now, but definitely could take advantage. But again, this team fight, and also level 11s are being hit. The Plague Rider was the last one that's really important. He now has his level 2 ultimate as well, so that's actually something to look at for complexity, where, again, State Green, that goes back to the point I made earlier, how State Green, they're ahead and they are comfortable, but again, this is where they need it to be, so you got to keep looking at it that way, too. That it's not over by any means.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting, Nymphora is almost level 11. That's one other thing, though. Not only do they have the lead, they have the Nymphora. Naturally, that hero's skill set, given the ulti, allows you to create map control even when you're not there.
Yeah, and it scares the opposition, if anything. So, Rally's in some trouble. He will avoid the Rotten Grasp, and that made it maybe the saving grace there. I think it was, but they're still chasing, actually, is the Legion team. In fact, they're going to go on their combination on a Rally. He's pretty tanky, though. Will it be enough for the kill? In comes Sevens. The risk going to come out. Down goes Rally, finally. The rest of the team somewhat nearby, but they get caught by Roscar. What a ground crash coming up for Deadwood right there. There's Zilson on top. There was a buyback from Rally, but another kill happening. This one on Tempest. He buys back, though. Holy crap. And Stay Green is now realizing that they need to get away, but they force 2 buybacks. And actually, Pebbles jumping back in. He'll finish off Plague Rider just like that. He's going to now start a runaway. Magnus Eruption, Channel and Portal Key to jump in. Draconus now, he's in a lot of trouble. He's going to Cataclysmic Assault, though, sitting his ground with the right click auto attacks, but not nearly enough damage going out, especially with this build currently. He'll need to start falling back, too. Magnus did get picked off there, looks like. But no doubt, State Green loves that exchange right there with the way that it finished.
Yeah, that was huge. Rally now out of buybacks as well.
It goes back to complexity. I really don't think that they, again, the miscommunication. Some people seem like they wanted to go, others didn't. I kind of feel like they had to just initiate into a fight there, especially when that Rally got caught.
Yeah, when the Rally got caught, it's like sort of go in or not. I mean, they were sort of staggered, and then they delayed a little bit, and then look at that follow-up Rotten Grass that came out from Deadwood. It caught like, what, 2 or 3 heroes? It's almost like a second Keeper route coming out that also does -4 armor. So it was huge.
Yeah, no, that was very well placed by Swinamels. I was definitely shocked that even hit as well as it did. So big indeed. I mean, Tempest obviously getting picked off when he did, and again, it's just the sequence of events where Rally gets picked off, then he buys back, but at that time Tempest gets picked off, but then he buys back, and then Plague Rider goes down. And it's like you keep losing one of your big heroes in these team fights. As you're trying to respond, and it's State Green again, though. That is a case of them just playing it honestly very well themselves, playing that footsie game as you put it earlier, and we did see a little bit of that.
Yeah, we saw them fake back too, and then reinitiate with the Deadwood Pebbles to kill the Plague Rider. I mean, they're doing an excellent job of keeping their spacing. So
here we go, barrier idol going to be used. So definitely trying to break into the base now. Everyone is up for the Helmort team, and they still have every ultimate actually. So. That's where I'm sure State Green are aware of that as well, and they know they're probably under the impression that this game still isn't won by any means, and the Hellborn side has that team fight potential, but feeling better at least. 2,500 gold saved up on Draconus, by the way. So again, he's very close now, and actually, if he sells the Mystic Vestments in a minor totem, maybe he could purchase it. Okay, or he could just do that and get it anyways. So.
Or you can just summon the Apocalypse on the enemy creep wave and.
And now he has it. There you go. Yeah. That's big. I mean, that is huge.
It is.
He's not level 6.
It is not their ticket yet, though.
No. His damage output is still minimal, but the fact that he will at least be able to stand his ground now, at least ideally, is big news. So.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Deadwood pretty much has the gold pulled up for his Demonic. Just a tad shy, I believe. I believe the total of Demonic is 55,500. It's like 5550, right? Yeah. So
I think so.
Yeah, he's pretty much got it now.
He does still have a token of life, by the way. It's just about a minute remaining. It doesn't look like they're going to force it though. There's that demonic press play right clicked. He just goes over to the ancients, farm some more. But yes, he does have that now. Just another beautiful item, of course, for the side of State Green. 3,900 more gold saved up on Pebbles, by the way. Kind of interested to see what Slicks decides to go for. We know Slicks in the past, something like an Elder Parasite actually could be pretty powerful on him, but. Nope, he's going double Arcana, which eventually will be a Hellflower, which of course makes plenty of sense too. Oh my god! Aluna just wanted to counter ward, and, well, Swinamels is like, no, you cannot do that.
There's no buyback, but there's also no Deadwood Punch, and it's an Aluna, so she's going to revive in, like, no time, so that really is a pointless fact.
Yeah. Not a big deal, but, Still funny nonetheless. Devil going to jump in and actually still has a token for another 15 seconds, so it's almost as if he wants to die right here to get it worn off, and that is going to happen. It looks like if anything to the tower. They're not going to kill. He's just standing there. Okay, finally he falls. It's almost as if he wanted that to happen again. So
yeah,
you got to question complexity a little bit, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious what he was doing there, and just like even how he was spacing before he took that last hit. But yeah, they went ahead and killed him, just saying, hey, screw it, even if he is. We just wanted to see that token be burned.
So, no token of life again for at least 3 more minutes, as that's when Congo will respawn, and I'm sure Stay Green is going to look to do that. Swinamons, by the way, he's 6-0-7 as well. I mean, all across the board, obviously the heroical stats are pretty impressive here. For Stay Green, I mean, they are up 17-7 in hero kills. The golden experience is constantly going up and up. Again, it's nothing skyrocket by any means, but nearly 14,000 goal lead on top of a 9,500 experience lead here for Stay Green currently. What is game number 3 again? The winner of this will play Trademark Esports in the finals tomorrow, which of course will be casted here on Honcast, and then ultimately the winner of that will be going to Thailand and playing for the $60,000 prize pool event. Man, it is a big deal, and this is the GSL North American European qualifier. So. Just a quick recap there.
Yep. Pebbles did hit his 16, and Deadwood, as I'm saying that, also hits his 16. So Deadwood's one of those heroes, man. Each level of his ulti just does so much work. So the cooldown now only down to about a minute as well. So in those pushes, when they're going for those pickoffs and reinitiation, the lower cooldown will come in handy. And this Nymphora, that is so useful to have in their pushes, just because of the sustainability that one hero offers. I mean, she has to keep her entire team pretty much healed up as they whittle away at the tower and rack. So.
Yep, and the mana burst on a specific hero. On top of that, she's level 11 too, so she can now take 2 friends with her.
Pebbles and Deadwood, and the Hellflower, and the Demonic.
Yeah, they're powerful. So they are going to group up as 5 once again, and they are going to try to break into the middle base here. You see the tower very low, of course, and Max Lex will finish that off as he chucks one of the units in, and down goes the tower. So, going to clean up the creep wave. Draconus was at the top lane. He does port back. He has another 1,500 gold save, so it should be enough for buyback. It might be close, actually, because if he dies, he loses the gold, of course. It will be pretty close. Okay, probably not now.
They can kill a rally. They might want to kill a rally because if they're perceptive, they know he has no buyback. And also rally, if you initiate on the enemy team, he has a hard time sort of doing anything productive in a fight, especially against a keeper. So keepers, as we talked before, does stop him from pushing himself or his friends while they're rooted. So yeah, if they get the initiate off and kill the rally, no buyback coming out. It's a very safe target.
That's true. I mean, that's great. The no buybacks for him. Didn't even think about that, but you're right. Riser, of course, down 1 buyback himself on Tempest. So. Speaking of Tempest, his farm continues to not be the most effective. I mean, right now only 217 gold per minute. As he doesn't play degrees, Ring of Sorcery, Ring of Teacher, but yeah, don't expect. I mean, I kind of wonder if maybe he is going to go for that all-in portal key here for his team. But now, if Draconus does manage to get that Savage Mace, his damage output will start to go through the roof. And again, that's as big of a lead this honestly is for Stay Green. I still kind of have that in the back of my head of, you got a Draconus, he's saving up gold. The Savage Mace could still do plenty of work for this team.
Yeah, and looking at his shrunken head, it is still full duration.
Yep, hasn't used it just yet. Hasn't found the opportunity to use it for that matter. They haven't pushed them, I believe, since he's gotten that. But here we go. Very likely could be happening here in the near future now as Congo attempt number 2 is going to be happening. It will be successful. No resistance whatsoever put up from complexity. Again, understandable. And probably going to see a token of life on Deadwood again.
Down.
Okay, yeah, it will be a Deadwood.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So in the end, though, we got Stay Green continuing to push. Emperor did have to step out real quickly.
I'm back.
Oh, you're already back.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a quick break. Okay, but here we go. The barrier rattle being used right there, and Stay Green is going to start pushing into the base. The Nacho Cheese Man building, a.k.a. the melee racks. He is just kind of sitting there, as that's what he does. Of course, he's a building after all, but taking a bit of damage. We'll now, of course, with the barrier rattle down, not as much effective as a push coming out from Stay Green, but 2,700 gold now saved up on Draconus here. So again, pulling up plenty of gold, does definitely have a buyback if necessary. Gets the Plague Rider armor, of course. Deadwood in the front line saying, come at me, bro. 6 minutes on that token of life, that's why. He wants to be jumped. I
mean, they can pretty much push extremely safely, as you're seeing there. Still all full life. The rack's already brought down below half, and that's just looking another wave.
A Luna literally one shot, and actually a Slayer just purchased by Draconus. They're all in right here. He cannot buy back. He's going to be jumped right there. He will get pushed back in the background as a rally compel. The Tempest ultimate. Zeal's not going to cancel that. The Golden Pebbles coming out. Tempest will fall. There's that Golden Dragon, though. Out comes that Cataclysmic Assault. He just needs to right-click this Legion team down if possible. The Plague is bouncing around, but the Legion team, just too much team support. Their abilities, their cooldowns were used, and they are ready to reset this fight now, whereas Complexity is absolutely not, with Tempest dead, of course. Pebbles jumped in the background. Plague is going to start falling right here. He will fall to Magma's follow-up. Rally now compelling himself away. Draconus coming back in. Will have the Cataclysmic Assault back up in 2 seconds, actually. Going to go with the Dragon Flame. Rally is still here. Are we going to see that from Draconus? No Shuriken Head for 45 seconds, though. And the middle racks will end up falling here in favor of Stay Green. GG, well played. Are being called. I don't know about that.
No Plague, no buyback on Tempest. Draconus can't even walk up there without the Deadwood annihilating it. Their ulti was almost up. I mean, they knew it was over. So.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You're right. Well, that's how it ended. Definitely a crazy fight to finish things off right there, Emperor. I mean.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that was.
Go ahead.
That pick off onto the Aluna, just one hit kill, really set the pacing.
It's like, guess what? You're down one player, and in the blink of an eye, just like that. Now, we saw the Golden Dragon come out again, as I always say, the Shrunken Head Draconus. He did purchase a Slayer going to the fight, so again, kind of that all-in sense of making it very clear he doesn't have buyback, just wanted more damage. He got a pretty good placement for his Cataclysmic Assault, but without the Savage Mace especially, again, it just seemed like it wasn't enough. The Shrunken Heads in the Legion team were helping. I saw the Plague Goo bouncing around. It didn't seem like that did a whole lot. And Rally didn't seem like he was able to get the best positioning either because of just the brute force from State Green. So State Green winning the series 2-1. They're going to play TDM once again in the Grand Finals, Emperor. That's going to be fun, man.
I think it's a matchup we've grown familiar with and a matchup we all actually like to see. And this is the first time we're going to see them going head-to-head without one of the teams having a one-game advantage. This will be a pure, fresh set for both of them.
That's a great point. Very, very, very true. And again, the State Green has proven that even there was the one it was 2 cycles ago now. I think it's cycle number 4 where they were down 2-0 in the best of 5, and they actually tied it up at 2-2, forcing a final game. So. It's going to be a fun series, man. And again, maybe it ultimately is the series that everyone expected, but we had a great run to get here. But again, it's going to shape up to be a great finish, I'm sure. Again, with Thailand on the line, $60,000 prize pool tournament on the line. Which, let's be honest, if you're going there out of the North American European region, you probably feel pretty good about finishing high, if not winning that whole event. So. Yeah, State Green and Trademark Esports. That's what it's going to come down to. And again, that's going to be so much fun. I want it to happen right now, but I know we got to wait for tomorrow. But setting up for the Grand Finals on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want it any other way, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. All right. So, well, as far as our coverage for today, that means things are going to be shaping up, and we can start wrapping things up here. So, Emperor, once again, any final words you wanna say here today?
No. Shout out to some of the old DWI crew, including Slicks, Zaku, Dirge Snoopy. He actually made a comment to me throughout Toronto, Enzo, Tusty and Chansey, and Beef and Trolf too.
Right on.
So.
Right on. All right. As always, pleasure to cast with you, man, and definitely looking forward to continuing it tomorrow and wrapping up these first qualifiers for the GSL. It has been a lot of fun, and again, it is going to be a great finish of Stay Green versus Trademark Esports. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is over for today, but tomorrow, do we have the schedule actually I want to bring up? Do we have that? So we'll bring up a schedule for you guys real quickly here, and again, kind of give you a full idea of what to expect really throughout this whole week. Well, that's a Twitch stream, so. Well, anyways, tomorrow, there you go. Okay, there you go. Of course, for throughout this whole week, but. So tomorrow, the same time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 2200 Central European Time. It will be Trademark Esports taking on Stay Green for the GSL North American European Qualifier Championship. Again, winning team going to Thailand, $60,000 prize pool tournament. On Friday, we'll be coming at you with our Honcast podcast at the time shown, followed up by, of course, another Sound Blaster Hero League Qualifier Finals. And then Saturday is where Han Tour Cycle number 6 officially begins, and our coverage for that of this week and into the following weekend. So plenty of Heroes of New Earth coming at you every single day here this week. I was not lying about that here on Honcast. So again, definitely a lot of fun. Also, shout out to Beef doing his work. I did some scrim casts with him earlier today, like I said, and he's constantly casting both Han Tour and these events as well. So big shout out to him. But Emperor, it is over for today. So again, thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Grand Finals, Trademark Esports, taking on Stay Green. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, sounds good.